I was gonna start this video off with a joke about dementia, but I can't remember it, so I'll have to tell it later. But in this video, I wanted to talk about music and how music can be healing. Research has shown that music relieves stress and anxiety, lowers blood pressure, lowers our heart rate, and reduces our muscle tension. And for me, music feels like the healing of my mind, body, and heart. And I also want to say that marijuana can also be healing. Because for me, smoking marijuana reduces my stress, my anxiety, it relieves my depression, it calms my anger. And research has shown on CBD that it is effective for treating pain relief and helping with anti-inflammation, especially people with symptoms like arthritis or nerve pain. And so yeah, I think music and marijuana can be both healing. And I think Jesus is cool with rock and roll and marijuana, as long as we don't abuse it. And what I mean by that, and I feel like I shouldn't have to explain it, but I want to. What I mean by don't abusing marijuana and rock and roll is not smoking weed at work and not blaring rock and roll at a retirement center, because that's inappropriate. So I think he's cool with rock and roll and marijuana as long as we don't abuse them. And I don't see rock and roll as the devil's music, and I don't see marijuana as the devil's lettuce. I think it's beautifully good when marijuana or rock and roll brings someone out of a depression, relieves someone from their stress and anxiety, or calms them down from their anger. I think that is beautifully good. A song I love that relates to this is called I Hope I'm Stoned When Jesus Takes Me Home by Charlie Worsham, if I said his name correctly. And it's not really a rock and roll song, it's kind of more country folk kind of song, but I think it goes great with understanding how music and weed and Jesus can come together to be healing. And that song feels like it's healing to me, and I very much like that song. So Jesus can heal us, music can heal us, marijuana can heal us, and magic mushrooms can heal us. And I feel music way more when I'm high off of marijuana or when I'm tripping on magic mushrooms. And like I said, music feels like the healing of my mind, body, and heart. And like I said before, marijuana helps me open my mind, and magic mushrooms helps me open my heart. I also want to mention one of my favorite music artists who was open about his marijuana and magic mushroom use and was open about his mental health, who is Juice WRLD. And I want to talk about one of my favorite songs by him, which is called Flaws and Sins, which I feel like I personally relate to this one because of its lyrics that go, she tells me her darkest secrets, things that she wouldn't even tell Jesus. And I feel like I personally relate to this because I only wanted to share my dark secrets with my soulmate and not Jesus. And I'm learning that I have to put Jesus first before my soulmate, because Jesus is the only one that can heal us from a guilty mind. But I love Juice WRLD because he brings psychology and Christianity together through music, like how Taylor Tomlinson brings psychology and Christianity together through comedy. I also want to recommend watching a comedy musical movie called Tenacious D, The Pick of Destiny, starring Jack Black, who I think is the funniest rock and roll personality out there. But I want to talk about one of the beginning scenes of this movie, where JB is playing rock and roll in front of his dad, and his dad shuns him for his love of rock and roll and tears down all his rock and roll posters and tells him that it is the devil's work and that Jesus loves his brother more. And I get that some strict families might see rock and roll music as a bad influence, but I don't think Jesus hates rock and roll, and I think he's cool with it. And I think it's beautifully good when music relieve somebody from mental health problems. But yeah, I also want to recommend a song called Tragic Comedy by Jacob Lee. And on top of that, which is part of my playlist, I want to recommend my Christian playlist, which is inspired by Christianity. And it has some Juice WRLD songs, and it has the I Hope I'm Stoned song, and it has the Tragic Comedy song, and a lot of songs inspired by Christianity. And I also think it's a great taste of music because I have artists like Juice WRLD, I have artists like Bon Jovi, AC/DC, Journey, NF, Rolling Stones, and even Led Zeppelin. And so I have a lot of rock and roll songs and a lot of rap songs and a few country songs in this playlist, but mostly all of it is inspired by Christianity. So I'll leave a link to my playlist in the comment section if you guys would be interested in checking that out. And I also want to say to do more than just listening to music, but also sing along. And sing on the top of your lungs if you can, because it feels amazingly healing when you're singing out loud on top of your lungs with music. And sing even if you don't know all the lyrics. Sing even if you think that you are a terrible singer. Do not let the ego stop you from feeling your voice. Feel the music, exercise your vocal cords, and let your voice reach full potential. I like to say pouring my soul into my voice. Play with tonality and don't overthink it, just feel it. Focus on the music to drown out thinking. And stretch out your vocal cords. Sing like nobody's listening and dance like nobody's watching. And tapping your foot or bopping your head is still dancing too. And research has shown that dancing can be healing too, like lowering our cortisol, relieving symptoms of anxiety and depression, boosting serotonin. And dancing has also shown to build new neural connections and improve long-term brain health and reducing the risk of dementia. And the last thing that I'll say is, it's not what you sing, it's the way you sing it. And it's not what you move, it's the way you move it. And the last song that I'll recommend that goes with this is It Ain't What You Do, It's the Way That You Do It by Fun Boy 3, which came out in the 80s, but I think it is still a bop, a classic, and still worth listening to, so I highly recommend it. And I probably need to add it to my playlist. And I'll leave a link to that playlist in the comment section below. And so, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video.